Okay, let's continue. Okay, so basically, I would like all of you, because I believe in the market, not many people actually know that Delta Electronics, we actually do inverters. But this is something that I would like all of you to actually let all your customers or even your partners know that for Delta Electronics, we have been doing inverters since 1995. So we have more than 20 years of experience doing inverters, and actually we are doing almost over 20 million units of inverters cumulative since our launch. So you can see we have actually progressed. So Delta Electronics, we started doing from VFDA, and now last year we actually launched our C2000 Plus Series 2. Actually, our M300 series was actually launched in 2016, but today this is our main focus. So after M300 series, the next seminar, if you are still interested, I'll be talking about our C2000 and C2000 Plus series. Okay, so basically for M300 series, to make it very simple, there are only three different categories. It's either ME, MS, or MH. How do we differentiate between these three? Very simple. ME is the basic compact drives, MS is the standard compact drives, and MH is the high performance compact drives. So these are the only three categories for the M300 series. So how do we categorize these three different series? Please have a look at the next slide. So basically, the reason why we have three different series is to actually cater for different types of customers and also cater for the different requirements of the customer. So if you look at ME, so ME, I would say it will be the lowest tier, or I would say it is the most economical, which means it's in terms of the pricing. But in terms of the features, if you look at how it compares across the series, you will realize that for ME, MS, and MH, I've highlighted in yellow the main difference between each different series. So for ME, there's STO, but it's optional, which means that when you actually need STO for ME300 series, please look at the catalog. Please choose the correct model. And the EMC is also optional up to the EMC filter. So if you need the EMC filter, also please go to the catalog, pick the correct model. But there is something that's very unique to the ME300 series, is that there is this single or multi-pump function which is built into the programming of our ME300 series, which you can actually call using the LED panel. So this is something which our LCD panel. So this is something that I would like all of you to remember. So if you go up the series from ME to MS, you will realize that MS, there is actually communications built in. This one I'll go through later. STO is built in, which means for all MS series, if you get it, it has built-in STO. And there is also a built-in PLC, but there is only up to 2000 steps. So going further up, so whatever MS have, MH also have. But MH has a further extension of MS capability in terms that you can add PG and IO cards. All right, so I hope this is very clear. So just to make it, why we put MH as high performance, if you look at the PLC, it goes up to 5000 steps. It has communication and it's also built-in STO. All right. Okay, so basically this is how the power range for all the different series. So please have a look at it. So you realize that ME has actually from 0.1 kilowatt all the way up to 11 kilowatt. All right, so this is how it is, the power range is actually dedicated for each different series. So one thing that I would like to mention is here, if you look at MH300 series, you'll realize that it's called a high-speed model. If you look at the frequency, it can go up further than 199 hertz. So this one later I'll go through on this special functionality. And also just to let you know, for MH 300 series, we are actually planning in the second Q of 2020. I will update all of you at a later date because is still in plans, but it is going to go through. But this is something that will be done. It's just that the time frame might change. So at the moment, we'll be doing up to 75 kilowatts for MH300 series. Okay, this is just to actually let you see, because if you're very familiar with our VFDE and EL series, just take note that the way of naming the VFD is different. So this is how you name it. So please have a look at the catalog. This is just to let you know that the naming style is different from our previous VFD model. So please take note of this. And as what I've mentioned, uh, M300 series, the EMC filter is not built in. So when you actually do the selection, please make sure that if you need an EMC filter, please choose the correct one with a built-in EMC filter. Or if you have any questions on the naming of this M300 series, you can check with our distributors, or you can actually also check with our sales personnel. Okay, so the main thing I would like all of you to actually take back from this seminar is that I would like all of you to remember these three key features of M300 series. So basically, it's powerful. It can go up to very high speed. It's small size and simple setup. Just these three key features that I hope that you can take back, and I'll expand on these three key features in my next few slides. Okay, so basically, if you have been using Delta VFD inverters, you'll realize that for all our previous models, they are all a bit big. So for our M300 series, it has a smaller footprint, smaller size. So please take note of this. And the other one is that for our M300 series, if the ambient temperature requirements is not that high, from minus 20 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius, you can actually do zero stack installation. So this actually gives some benefits for panel builders, where they actually can have a smaller panel size, which helps them to save cost, save money also. So this, but please take note of the requirements of the ambient temperature. So this is something that is very different between VFDE and EL and our M300 series. Our M300 series, because of the future trend, we realized that Delta Electronics realized that permanent magnet motors will actually be the future. But of course, now the update rate is not so much. But one thing about M300 series is we actually built in this functionality, which means that when you get an M300 series drives across all the range, it actually supports permanent magnet motor. Please take note of this. So this is something that is very unique for M300 series. The other one is I would like to mention is that we have actually fast response to impact loading. But please take note that this is actually only for MH and MS300 series. All right. And the other one is that for our M300 series, we also make sure that it's able to go up to 200% rated torque and at very low frequency. So for applications that require high impact loading at very low frequency to be very stable, you can actually consider our M300 series. So you can see how the different three series are actually organized. So you can see that MS can actually go up to 200% torque at 0.5 Hertz. ME can go up to 200% rated torque at 3 Hertz. So these are the main difference. This is something that we have, so you can actually make use of our TEC mode, so you can actually shorten deceleration time. So for VFDs, you do not need to actually use so many braking resistors for certain applications, so please take note of this. Okay, so this is the communications which I've mentioned. So please take note that for MS and MH, we have built-in communication. So for MS, we have actually built-in Modbus. For MH, we add on a CAN open. So, but please let your customer know that if they need to have scalability or flexibility, we also have Profibus, we have DeviceNet, we have Ethernet IP, and even EtherCAT. So this is something that we can actually work on to actually use our inverters, use Delta Electronics inverters in different panels with different protocols being used. So this is we actually support many communication protocols. This is the next one will be for MS and MH general series. So most of you will know that inverters, they are very integral in a panel. So one thing we can do is actually there's an option for all of you to actually add on a 24 VDC card module into our VFD, so that in any case that there is the AC current that comes in, or I would say the AC power that comes in, there is a break in the power, this 24 VDC can also power up the inverter in emergency, so that it gives the user time or gives your customer time to actually make sure that data is not lost and we can actually do a power up for the AC power. And this is something that is we have actually built in. So this is not you do not actually need to have additional cost. So we actually do pulse input from the controller. So for MS, MH, and ME, how they are actually differentiated, you can see. So for ME, you accept single pulse up to 10 kilohertz. MS also single pulse up to 3 kilohertz, and MH up to dual pulse at 33 kilohertz. So before I just continue, may I know if any of you have any questions or anything, or is my pace too slow, or do you want me to speed it up? Please let me know. You can just send it to the chat. I'm sorry, or if I've unmute you, I've allowed you to talk. You can also let me know. All right. Okay, so I'll just continue. So please take note for MH. MH we call it high performance. One key feature for MH, which is very different from MH, ME and MS, is actually for MH, it can actually do closed loop control. So if you want to do very advanced closed loop control, you can actually add on a PG card also. So basic closed loop, you can use the dual pulse or the feedback signal from encoder directly to our MH300, or for very advanced closed loop, get the customer, talk to the customer, PG card is needed, add on a PG card for more accurate speed control. Okay, this is the thing that I would like to mention. For high speed model, so please take note, ME do not have this feature. So this high speed model is only for MS and MH. Please take note of this. For MS, it go up to 1500 Hertz. For MH, goes up to 2000 Hertz. Okay, if you realize that in my previous slides at the power range, I did not mention what is the maximum frequency that MS and MH can go to. The reason is because for high frequency model, they are not our standard lineup. So if you need to purchase a high speed model, where regardless of its MS or MH, please contact me or contact IFA or contact our salesperson, because as I've mentioned, it's not the standard model. There are certain requirements. Each government have their regulations for selling high-speed models. So certain applications which you might ask, like for example, wood milling machines, wood cutting machines, grinding machines, all these with very high impact loading and very high speed that can also needs to actually control a very high speed signal motor, you can actually consider MS and MH. All right. And the difference is that MS goes to 1500 Hertz, MH goes to 2000 Hertz. All right. And also for certain applications, like if you are doing motor coil winding, or even for packaging, for tension control, we actually have this tension control function built in to our VFD, our MS and MH series. So this one is something that instead of actually doing programming from the PLC side, you can actually make use of this from our MS or MH series for tension control. Okay, so this is something that I hope all of you can remember. So for all of our M300 series, it can actually support induction motor switching control, which means instead of actually pairing one motor to one VFD drive, VFD, you can actually use a switch. I will call it a switch box in the middle. So for example, like ME, you can control up to 2 induction motor, MS, 4 induction motor, and MH, 8 induction motor. This actually gives the customer to save space in the panel size. It helps to save cost for the customer. So this is something that you can also let our customer know. Okay, just now in the front I have mentioned ME, MS, and MH. What is the difference between
ได้ละ
ME
พี่ถามซับละ
and MS and MH? MS and MH, there is a built-in PLC function. What do I mean by built-in PLC function? It means that there you can actually use this VFD as per its PLC. So for customers who know us very well, if you know use our DVP PLC before, we use the ISP soft. So you can actually just download this software. It's free of charge. We provide updates. So you can just download and you can use for very, very simple application. For MS and MH, you might not even need a PLC. So this is something that please take note. And for MS, it goes up to 2,000 steps and MH goes up to 5,000 steps. And other than all the difference like tension control programming, which we have built into our VFD drives, something that we have done is that for parameter selection, so for very common applications, you can actually go to our VFD drives. We actually have all these different settings, the parameters, which is actually predefined by Delta Electronics. You can actually go to it and actually just call from the screen of the VFD. So we have very parameter settings, which is already defined for compressor, fan pumps, or even packaging tools, packaging machines, and machine tooling. So all these are all built-in defined parameters, which you can actually use. And if customer have a requirement, they can actually make use of all these default parameters or defined parameters and actually use their own, which is your user defined. So it actually helps to actually shorten your development time, so that you can actually push your panel or push your products to the market faster. So this is, please take note of this. And the other one is for MS and MH. This is only for MS and MH, please take note. So there is a built-in USB port. What do I mean by built-in USB port? Which means that you do not need to actually go and find a USB to RS-485 converter or anything. You can just use a normal, if I did not remember wrongly, is a USB-B. You can actually just get one from the market. Do not need to get it from Delta. You can actually use it to actually do uploading and downloading of parameters without powering up the VFD. So this is for MS and MH. So to put it into perspective, it means that for ME, if you want to download and upload parameters from the VFD drives, you have to power up the VFD drive and you have to actually use a USB cable converter. So please take note of this. So this is for MS and MH. Okay, so for MS and MH, please take note that the panel is removable. But if you remove some of our customers, they may want to mount this panel onto the mount this, I would say, this screen onto their panel. So they can actually make use of this feature of MS and MH, which is actually you can actually remove this screen. So the key thing I would like to actually put across is, if you look at MS, you'll realize that MS, this cable is different from the cable in MH. So I will now please take note. For MS, if you want to place the keypad on the panel or somewhere that is far away from the VFD, please take note that this cable that connects the VFD to this keypad is from Delta. So you need to actually buy this cable. MH, you can just use the normal RJ45 cable. So this is the key difference between MS and MH. So I didn't mention anything about ME. It means that ME, the keypad is non-removable. So please take note of this. So this is very different between VFD E and EL, in the sense that VFD E and EL, VFD E, you have to actually buy the keypad separately. So the MS M300 series, the keypad comes with the VFD. All right. Another one key difference is that for M300 series, all our wiring, we actually use the pushing concept, the European style of wiring. So it actually saves installation time. We actually shorten your installation time, also save costs, so that they do not need to spend so much time doing the wiring up of the panel or the inverter. Okay, so this is just to let you know. So just now, as I mentioned, you can see the keypad cable here. So this is the specialized keypad cable for MS300 series. So please take note. So another key difference is that for ME and MS is the same as MH. So ME and MS, the difference, if you look at the keypad, you realize that for MS and MH is actually a 5-digit LED. So please take note of this, but for ME is only a 4-digit and the keypad is fixed. All right. Okay, so this is something that I would like all of you to remember. So for all of our M300 series, we actually do 100% PCB coating, which means it actually fulfill IEC 6072133, or you can call it class 32C. So it's resistance to moisture, corrosion, and dust. So for certain application where there is a high moisture, or I would say even in a chemical factory or very dusty environment, you can still consider our M300 series because we do all 100% PCB coating. Other than 100% PCB coating, we all our MS and MH, we actually have IP40 rating inverters too. So please take note of this also. So this is also something which we can actually offer to our customers. Another one is when I write built-in EMC filter, as I've mentioned, please take note that if customer wants to have the EMC filter, please choose the correct model. The EMC filter is built in. So customer do not actually need to do the assembly on their own. They just need to pick the correct model. All right. Okay, so this is another thing. So for MS and MH, there is built-in STO. So with built-in STO, you can actually reduce the number of contactors in between. It helps to save cost. Another thing is that please take note our STO safety rating is only until SEAL2. For ME, STO you can add on is optional. So please choose the correct model if customer wants to use a ME drive with STO. Okay, so this is a ME300 unique features. So something that we have actually add on into our ME300, which means you can actually call this a program from the keypad, is actually we actually do this for water pumps. So you can actually do alternate operations. So what do I mean by alternate operation? Which means that you can actually the programming is built in so that you can actually alternate the pump operation. So to actually lengthen your pump. So for example, if you look at the picture here, you can see that on days where you can only run the first pump first, then the second day you run the second pump, the third day you run the third pump, and the fourth day you run the fourth pump. So this is and you can actually set it based on the number of days, the number of hours, or number of weeks. So this is actually to lengthen the lifespan of your pumps, and also at the same time to lengthen the VFD lifespan also. Another one which we can do is you can actually attach a pressure sensor. You can add on a pressure sensor to our ME300 drives, and you can actually base on the pressure to actually decide how many pumps to be running. So this, instead of actually running all 4 pumps on the day. So when the water pressure is low, only 1 pump is running. Water pressure is high, 3 or 4 pumps can be running at the same time. So this is something which is built into our ME300 drive. The customer do not need to pay additional just to enjoy this feature for ME300. Okay, so this is something that I just want to summarize so that you can actually know what is the main difference between MS300 versus our old drive. So basically, for all our M300 series, we have internal PLC. So please take note of that. We have, okay, just hold on. Let me answer some questions. If you have any questions, you can actually post it into the Q&A. Give me a few minutes.
ฮัลโหลค่ะ ค่ะ
Yes.
อ๋อ มาฝากนิติบุคคลได้เลยค่ะ ค่ะ
Owen, please mute.
I don't know who is the one talking. That's the problem. I do not know to mute who. Okay, let me just continue. So another key thing is for our M300 series, we actually have many different communications. Please take note of this. We can also accept pulse input, built-in STO, IM. We can actually run IM and PM motors. And another one is someone actually asked. Okay, just hold on. There's another question. Just one. If you have questions, just send it to the Q&A. I will answer. All right. So for VFDE, you realize that for our M300 series, it has a better EMC protection. It has a electric circuit protection in smaller size, and there is a USB for upgrading and monitoring. So please take note of this. Okay, so this is this is not limited to all these applications. It's just a recommendation. So I have do some color coding because, as you know, ME, MS, and MH, there is an overlap in their specifications, overlap. So I just highlighted. So for example, ME, some recommended applications will be like fan pump, compressors, packaging, electronics, food and beverages. MS, there's an overlap in these red color applications, but at the same time, because of the high-speed motors, it can run a high-speed spinner motor. You can actually go up to things like a wood cutting machine, textile, or even machine tooling. Then for MH, there is overlap from with MS with the wood, textile machine tooling, but at the same time, you can also do rubber and plastic, or even hoist or cranes also. Okay, so before I continue, any questions? If you have questions, maybe let me know. I give all of you about maybe 2 to 3 minutes. I'll try to answer all your questions. Then I'll go on to some of our successful case studies which we have done globally. Just hold on. Okay, UD, I saw your questions. I will answer your questions later. Thank you. Okay, I just answer some. So basically for the MH, it can go up to 200% at 0 Hertz. It's not 0 Hertz, it's very close to 0 Hertz. So that is a thing I can answer. Okay, HMI can connect to drives because this one I will later explain to you, but I think need to route through a PLC. That's the first thing. The rest I will check and update you. Okay, so let me continue to our successful case studies. Okay, so basically this is our ME. So our ME, just now I have mentioned, it can actually do, okay, just hold on. Xperia XZ, just hold on. Let me try to see whether I can unmute. Xperia XZ, if you have questions, can you, okay, just hold on. No pardon, I will reply you this later. Let me check and I'll get back to you. If I'm not wrong, should be 4. I have to check. Later I can send you my, if I'm not wrong, it's Profibus. Profinet, I have to check. Okay, so for this one, you can see actually we can actually use our ME. So these are some of our key selling points which we managed to enter this customer for water pump. So basically it's a compact, simple, small, and the key thing is that this has a electrical protection function which is different from the VFDE or EL series. Okay, so this is another one. So basically, this is an industrial fan application. So based on customer requirement, they want to change from an induction motor to a permanent magnet motor. So this VFDE and EL cannot fulfill. They want to actually run a high load at very low speed. So this is something that just now I've mentioned, the high impact loading. They also want to have low frequency inverter running noise. Just hold on. Okay. So this is actually using of our Delta Electronics ME300 series, and also the parameter is already built in. So to actually do, I would say, a retrofit or add on to our customer is very simple. The installation time is not that long too. So this is something that which customer made chose our ME300 series. Okay, this is another one. This is woodworking. So when I mention woodworking, if you remember this, so this will either be MS or MH. But if you look at the high speed requirement is from 400 to 800 hertz, which means it goes above 599 hertz, which means ME is not suitable. So this one is actually make use of a MS because it's very stable at very high impact and at very low speed. So you can see that we actually allow our customer to actually have a better precision accuracy. So this is where our MS300 is being used, and you can actually look at this is our old VFD series. If you look at the panel, the VE series, you realize that there's difference in size. So this is the amount of savings they can actually have a smaller panel size. So this is another one. This is also more of like a wood carving machine. So you look at the requirement, they want to have a high starting torque and it's a high load, heavy load, and they also want to have a high overload capacity. So this one they are making use of MS also, MS300, and you can actually look at how MS300 compare to our competitors. So it can run at very low speed, very stable, and you can actually overload it up to 100%. Okay, so this is another one, which is the PCB machine. So actually, this is our customer who was previously using VFDB. So the VFDB is already discontinued. So you can see actually MS can actually fulfill this application is smaller. So you actually have more than almost close to 50% of saving, and you can look at the requirements of the customer. They need to be control a high speed motor from 1000 to 1333 hertz, so they can actually use MS300 series. And also because of the EMC filter, it has a lower noise. Okay, so this is another one which I would like to mention. So you can see how small our M300 series is. And because it's smaller compared to the VFDM, you realize that power consumption is lower. It saves cost for the end user. At the same time, because it's smaller, the panel is easier to design. So actually, you realize that the heat dissipation is also better. So it actually lengthens the lifespan of the components in a panel plus our VFD drives too. So this is something which you can also share with our customer. This is some of our customers. So this is for the high speed. So you can realize that the customer needs to control a high spinner motor at 1.5 kilohertz. So this is actually making use of our MS 300 series. So this is another one. So you can see actually for this, they need to be high speed, high efficiency, and they actually is actually not a very small load, it's a heavy load application. So they need a quick start and timely acceleration or deceleration control function. They also need this one, stable operation. So they actually are is making use of our MS 300 series drives here. Okay, this is just hold on. Sorry, I didn't dismiss anything. It's just auto dismiss. So okay, uh, this is the end of my presentations. Maybe I can actually have some question and answer. 5 minutes. I try to unmute as many people as much as possible. So if you have any questions, you can actually let me know. How do I start? So any questions? If not, I will end this seminar, I will just actually stop the sharing. I'm actually doing a recording, so after that, all these slides, you can actually have a look at all the recordings too. So any other questions or anything? Okay, so I will just end this seminar. Thank you so much.